The American Civic Association was founded January 19, 1939, when a group of 11 men met and decided to do something about finding a way in which naturalized citizens could make significant contributions to the country of their adoption. The 11 men had come from 9 different countries and all wanted to do something to show their appreciation for their American citizenship. The original idea belonged to Michael Gavigan, who had researched the possibility for such an organization for 4 years. The group's ultimate concern was that after receiving their citizenship, too many immigrants felt abandoned and isolated. The basic purpose of the new organization was defined as Americanism in the best sense of the word. To accomplish this, the group hoped to set up an adult civic education program which would teach anyone who wished to become a better citizen the things necessary to achieve this goal. The association would also provide a variety of services for those who intended to apply for their American citizenship. This included receptions honoring new citizens following the court ceremony. The association originally met in the old Sun Building at Shenango and Henry, and then at 8 Pine Street in Binghamton. In 1966, the association moved into its own building at 131 Front Street. The building resulted from the generosity and vision of a number of people, especially Mr. and Mrs. David Dickinson, as well as from contributions from members. Marion Lee, one of the association's early executive directors, was the driving force that effected the move. While the basic work of the association has remained the same, the recent flood of refugees to this country has caused the association to pay at least as much attention to refugee resettlement as to immigrant problems. To better understand the role played by the association in resettling refugees, here's a chart showing how it interacts with the federal government through the Federal Immigration and Naturalization Service, which is the principal governmental body dealing with immigrant admission to this country. Note that the association works through another non-governmental body, the American Council for Nationality Service, from which it receives its quota of refugees periodically. The Council works not only through groups such as the association, but through other groups such as Church World Service and World Relief. These groups also receive their allocations of refugees from the federal government. The American Council for Nationality Service receives federal funds to distribute for the relocation and resettlement of refugees and their families. The funds are passed on to agencies such as the American Civic Association, which allocates funds for the first month's expenses sustained by the refugees. Here is how the association helps to resettle arriving refugees. One of its caseworkers is assigned to meet the incoming refugees at the airport. The caseworkers have previously located an apartment for the individual or group and have made provisions for their settling into the apartment. These included finding the necessary beds, bed clothing, basic food supplies and staples, other household items, all of which await the group at the apartment. Once the group is settled, the work of the association becomes even more complicated. The caseworker must now provide home safety orientation in the apartment with the help of a native speaker. See to it that the refugees are registered for Social Security and the youngsters register for school, that they are given physical exams and immunization shots, that the children have transportation for school, that a family doctor and a dentist are available, and that adults start looking for work. In addition, help is provided to sign up for food stamps, for Medicaid, and for public assistance. Adults are registered for English classes, shown how public transportation works, provided with interpreters and translators for important appointments such as doctor visits, and for responsibilities such as bill paying and correspondence. Unlike other agencies that deal with refugees, the ACA continues offering its services well beyond the month which is called for by its contract with the American Council for Nationality Service. Indeed, many refugees resettled by other agencies seek Civic Association services for many months after their arrival. In addition to refugee services, the ACA also provides a variety of services to regular immigrants. These also often start well before the naturalization process and continue well beyond that key moment in the life of an immigrant. They include problems connected with visa petitions, status of the immigrant family, interpreter service in dealing with such agencies as social services, school districts, the Motor Vehicle Bureau, family court, job interviews, hospitalization, doctor and lawyer appointments, and so forth. More than 15 different languages are involved in such assistance, including such languages as Laotian, Arabic, Persian, Romanian, Vietnamese, Chinese, Korean, and Danish, in addition to European languages. The same holds for translation services, which are provided largely for obtaining driver's licenses, birth certificates, marriage certificates, and divorce papers. Each year, the American Civic Association continues to hold receptions for new citizens following the courthouse ceremonies. Over the years, the American Civic Association has grown, both in membership and services. Currently, the association has approximately 2,000 members and serves more than 2,500 clients. Membership is open to all members of the community interested in assisting immigrants and refugees to become good American citizens. Membership dues are very modest, averaging $15 a year. Despite the increase in the work of the association, its basic staff has remained essentially the same for many years. The staff consists of an executive director, 2 caseworkers, a staff assistant, a part-time program coordinator, and custodian. Recently, 2 volunteer interns from Binghamton University have been added. While the staff carries on the day-to-day work, a core of community volunteers is involved in the association's fundraising efforts. A board of directors consisting of 30 members with a variety of ethnic backgrounds is responsible for all policy matters. The ACA works with an annual budget of over $150,000. Over the past 4 years, the budgets have gone from $146,000 in 1989 to over $175,000 in 1992. About 25% of the operating budget is provided by the Broome and Tioga United Ways. However, from 1990 to 1993, there was a drastic cut in the Broome United Way contributions from $55,000 in 1988 to only $34,000 in 1993. This has forced the ACA to examine other sources of possible funding. These include the various granting agencies, income from increased rentals of its building, and increased fundraising activities. In 1992, an application to the Dickinson Foundation resulted in a $10,000 grant. Plans are being prepared for ways and means of interesting potential renters and adding fundraising projects. The association's best fundraisers have been the Many Lands Market, the Ethnic Festival, and the All Nations Ball. The Many Lands Market is an annual 2-day affair held in the ACA building each fall, at which a variety of goods ranging from baked goods to jewelry and flowers are sold. Perhaps the most ambitious project is the annual Ethnic Festival, which has become a kind of staple for the entire community. In May of each year, a huge parade containing floats and other means of displaying ethnic pride by a variety of groups attracts thousands to Binghamton. The parade is followed by events at the Broome County Veterans Memorial Arena, including a large number of booths that cover the entire arena floor, serving ethnic food and other ethnic goods, and continuous entertainment featuring nationally known dance groups. Another steady source of income are the ethnic lunches held once a month. These are open to the public and feature food provided or prepared by volunteers. With the advent of greater ethnic awareness nationally, And with immigration numbers increasing dramatically since 1965, the importance of the American Civic Association as a social agency has become increasingly clear. In the 1930s, only 500,000 immigrants were allowed to enter this country. In the 1940s, there were 1 million. In the 1990s, over 15 million are expected to enter. In 1991 alone, over 1.8 million immigrants were admitted. Given these statistics, it's clear that the American Civic Association deserves increasing community support in the future.
From sea